So, let's enlist some Sumo insiders to help us understand this Day 5 incident, which is quite a bit deeper than it seems on first glance. As you may recall, Maegashira Gonoyama grounded his right fist with intention to start the bout, but Ozeki Hoshoryu refused to reciprocate for a good 90 seconds. This is a deliberate fight tactic, wrote Judge Fujishima, an ex-Ozeki himself. This tournament, in every match so far, has Hoshoryu tried to steal the advantage by looking at his foe's hand placement and rising last in response. Gonoyama knew that better than anyone, and tried to outweight him to disrupt his rhythm. Here I add that Gonoyama, unlike Hoshoryu, went through 4 years of university sumo, where delaying tactics are embedded into fight plans. Here's a young Gonoyama himself, getting warned for such tactics in Amateur Nationals 2019. He sure knows how to disrupt, or as Fujishima writes, disrespect his Ozeki foe. And then the power play begins, wrote ex-Yokozuna Wakanohana. You have Gonoyama 1 year older, which counted loads in high school sumo, effectively saying, "Ground your fists, junior." And then you have Hoshoryu, the professional senior in terms of start date and rank, saying, "You ground your fists, underling." Indeed, agreed the ex-Shohozan, who could pick a fight in an empty room, let alone the Abema commentary box. Hoshoryu's letting Gonoyama know he's getting above his station. And Hoshoryu himself complained after the bout. Yeah, things got a bit heated. I didn't really know what the hell he was thinking. There was I trying to get in the zone, and there was he. But here's a point which even some Japanese people miss. Despite the obsession with seniority in sumo, and in many respects wider society, that concept plays no part in who should ground fists first. And you should be able to see that across the bouts that you watch. As Kotonowaka noted this time after beating high school and rankings chart senior Takakesho, "Of course, I'm conscious he's my senior, but once on that dohyo, senior-junior relations go out the window." And as ex-Hakuho wrote in Hochi Sports, yes, Hoshoryu's attitude was, "My rank is higher, so you ground your fists first." But even though he is Ozeki, once he sees that even a single fist of Gonoyama's has been grounded, he has to fit in with that flow. What we fans mustn't lose sight of is that this was a battle of tactical wills. Tachi-ai brinksmanship, if you like. And had Gonoyama grounded both his fists instead of one, I think Hoshoryu would have fought there and then. Wakanohana sought to excuse. But the fact that Hoshoryu was so reluctant suggests a lack of confidence on his part that should embarrass someone of his rank, said NHK's Mainomi, who was famously insulted by Hoshoryu's uncle. Indeed, he was uncertain, as they've hardly faced each other for real, added Hakuho. And when you consider how Gonoyama's praise has been sung, including by Kotonowaka, and the fact he beat both other Ozeki this time, you can see why Hoshoryu was nervous of him. He stuck to his rise last tactics extremely well, and in the face of quite loud unrest from the crowd, observed Wakanohana, well noting the paying customers who theoretically sit atop sumo's status chart. You've got to praise the guy's boldness. I understand each man's hard resolve to dictate the pace of the fight, countered Judge Fujishima in his column. But for the sake of the paying crowd, I want them both to properly get in sync. Sadly for Hoshoryu, other judges were angrily insistent on that, and summoned him to their quarters after the bout. "Absolute trash from you today," shouted Chief Judge Kumegawa, loudly enough to be heard through walls. "Just how long were you planning on keeping us waiting? If the guy's got one hand down on the line, you should be able to charge with a bit of concentration, but maybe even that's beyond you." Kumegawa was mad because a professional bout had essentially descended into amateur style. Such dressings down are normally given in the instance of 3 full starts, but an example was made of Hoshoryu due to his Ozeki rank. Yes, even some Japanese fans have condemned what they see as anti-Mongolian bias. Tabloid journalists have pandered to bigoted readers, of that we can be sure. But sumo judges and wrestlers see Hoshoryu as a fighter first and Mongolian second. There is no such overt bias from them. The huge number of Kashiwa wrestlers comfortably see Hoshoryu as one of their own. His card is most likely marked because he's Asashoryu's nephew, and has shown, even through microaggressions, similar anger management issues. Arguably Hoshoryu's biggest mistake this time was to embarrass his master, who was NHK's pundit live on air when the incident happened. "Yeah, I'm not having that from him," Coach Tatsunami said through the mic. "I'll give him a talking to back at the stable." Gonoyama's master Takekuma guested some 3 days later, but out of NHK deference to sumo chiefs, he was not even asked for comment. Gonoyama himself has also said nothing as far as I'm aware. The most interesting observation, perhaps, came from ex-Ozeki Tochiazuma, the current coach Tamanoi. After that defeat to Takayasu on day 6, which was partly down to his poor initial charge, I'm not sure Hoshoryu's receiving tactic is even doing him any good, Tamanoi wrote. His timing has been off all tournament so far. If he instead slams those fists down in a way that says, "I don't care which way you come at me, I'm ready for you," it actually makes things more unsettling for his foe. That, I feel, is another sign that Hoshoryu is yet to develop his signature winning shape. To reach Ozeki without one, and solely on all-round skill, is a tremendous feat indeed. But he needs the jigsaw's final piece to make the second rank his own, and make the final step up.